And the mic needs to stay here because I'm wired to it.
Okay. Okay. Good evening. If I could have your attention for a few moments. My name is Marcy Euler, and it is my honor and privilege to lead the Pima Foundation and to welcome all of you here this evening. Thank you. Okay, totally unnecessary, but thank you. So after almost 2 years in a worldwide pandemic, it is wonderful to be able to gather again, to have our administrators from Pima College, our foundation board members, donors who have been so generous to the foundation and to the college, and also a number of other VIPs that we really are excited to have join us this evening. So what I would like to do is introduce you to our Chancellor, Lee Lambert. He is going to speak for a few minutes about the vision he has had and continues to have for the college, and why we are here this evening in terms of looking to the future of Pima. This is, as one person told me, this is sort of the coming out party for Pima in terms of the new and improved Pima. A lot of incredible things have happened under Chancellor Lambert's leadership, and we want to celebrate that and look to the future with great anticipation. So, Chancellor Lambert.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for taking time out of your busy lives to come out and share some of that with us this evening. First, I want to start out by recognizing our board chair, Damian Klinko. Damian, please. And board member Kat Ripley. Yeah. And I have in the room with us is our fabulous team of Pima employees. So please let's thank them for what they do for the college. So Jim Clifton, a few years back, wrote a book about the coming jobs war. When you think about it, that is probably the single most important metric that we can all measure ourselves by. Are we preparing folks for a good job? Now, there's a lot to that, obviously, but just keeping it that simple. That underlies one part of the equation. Another equally important part of the equation is preparing folks for a well-rounded life. And sometimes what gets lost is we focus on one versus the other, and really what needs to happen is the integration of those two things. And so what you're seeing at Pima is we're moving closer and closer to the integration of these two very, very critical components of the overall vision, not just for Pima, I think for all of education in our country. And so I'll just hit what's driving that, right? 5 gaps that we're focused on closing: the educational achievement gap, the technology gap, the sustainability gap, the global gap, and the skills gap. And because we've been putting a lot of focus on those 5 areas, Pima is being recognized across the country for its level of excellence. And our standard that the board has set is to be premier. We're measuring ourselves to be the best in class, not just for this community or for Arizona, but for the entire nation. And that's because we put that focus on those 2 key metrics along with closing those 5 skill gaps, and then we apply what we call the 4 lenses of innovation. And I'll just highlight them real quick. One is understanding the needs. When I came to this community, one of the big things I did was I went out and talked to lots of people to understand what the needs were of this community. And I'll come back to that here in a moment. And then understanding and leveraging the trends. And when you think about the trends that are really redefining all of our communities, you quickly think about the 4 superpowers: artificial intelligence, mobile technology, cloud computing, and the Internet of Things. And then another important one is leveraging your resources. And that's all of us in this room. How do we all work together to do more for the betterment of our community, right? And that's what we've been also putting a big attention to. And I'm forgetting the other lens, but it's probably one of the most important lenses, actually, and that is challenge the orthodoxy, challenge the status quo. And so that's how we've been transforming Pima, is doing those pieces that I just mentioned. And out of that has come an ambitious plan to create centers of excellence that are focused on those good jobs. So we just opened up recently the new Automotive Innovation Center. Some of you have had the opportunity to go see that. If you haven't, I highly recommend that you go and take a tour. We'd love to invite you there. We are close to completing, as we go into the new year, our new expanded aviation center, thanks to a generous gift from the state of Arizona and the governor. And then we're going to be opening up a state-of-the-art, probably one-of-a-kind advanced manufacturing center by this time next year. It'll be over 100,000 square feet. It will have a gantry train that runs across one end of the building to the other. And why is that significant? Because we want to send the message to the business community. We want you to come and do your upskilling, reskilling in our facility. So if you're Raytheon, you need to bring in that big machine, you can lift it into that building, put it up into our 12,000 square foot FIT center, Flexible Industry Training Center, and bring people in for that training. And then we can move that equipment out and in. You get the idea, right? And those are just some of the key highlights, and I'll just say one last one, because there are others, and that is we're in the process now of expanding and doubling the size of our Allied Health Center. We know that allied health, or the healthcare profession, is in high need of talent now. Not 5 years from now, not even a year from now. We know they need it now. And obviously we can't build it fast enough, but we're focused on meeting that need. I think you get the point, the good jobs piece. And then it's just this whole piece about, having a well-rounded individual is equally as important. And we need to make sure that people get those key fundamentals so that they are critical thinkers, that they're problem solvers, that they can work in collaboration with others, they can do the teamwork pieces. Those are all essential to a well-rounded life. So I may not remember that course I took in college, but I will remember the critical thinking skills I walked away from that, right? And I think that's really the key, and that's really what's driving Pima. So we have a lot of exciting things going, and I'll hit one last thing, and then I just want to do a quick shout out to two people. We've just launched probably the first ever in the United States a new set of curriculum called Micropathways. And it is the integration of what I said at the very beginning, that good jobs component and that well-roundedness, integrated into a micropathway, connected to a larger pathway, and you can do it all in 8 weeks or less. It's changing the business model. I'm getting calls now saying, what are you doing? Can you come talk to us, It's because we are redefining the landscape. And we wouldn't be able to do this without the generous support of Bank of America. So thank you, Adriana. Bank of America has been an important funder and supporter of this work. So I just want you to know that, so thank you so much. And we also have another important, exciting announcement we need to make tonight. And I'm so pleased we have Larry in the audience with us this evening. Larry came to understand our vision about 3 years ago. And he said, this is what we need for this community. And so we've been in conversations ever since, looking at what would be the right balance to forge a partnership together. And so I'm not going to say what that looks like, because I'm going to allow Larry to come up here and talk about it. So Larry, please come up and join us.
So I may need some notes, but I'm Larry Adamson, and I'm involved with the Connie Hillman Foundation and lead that foundation. And in the past, the Hillman Foundation did annual grants, and then we discovered something called challenge grants. And what we learned from doing these challenge grants is that it helped a charitable organization much more than just an outright grant. So we challenge them, which permits the organization to receive the Connie Hillman Family Foundation funds. It permits those funds to be a challenge that makes it easier for Marcy and Lee to go out and ask people to step up and meet the challenge. And it continues to it permits them to have those supporters continue to support them in the future, which might be worth more than just the money that we gave them. So, what was I going to say next? So The Hillman Foundation has evolved towards, or a major focus for us is having people obtain jobs so that they can have a sustainable living. Somebody has said it's having all the individuals have the pride of a job and the dignity of being self-sufficient. And so when we became aware of the vision that Lee Lambert was presenting for the community, we reached out to Lee's staff like 3 years ago. And so we have recently reached an agreement that the Connie Hillman Family Foundation will give a challenge grant to Marcy and Lee and all the rest of all of the faculty and this administrative people are going to have to raise a lot of money. So this is the largest grant that Hillman Foundation has made, and we're giving a challenge grant to Pima Community College of $5 million. And as you have seen on the TV when the president signs a bill, we're going to sign the challenge agreement tonight. All right. So I know the community is really going to love this vision of Lee and all of his administrative teams of getting people employed, no need for government services, have a sustainable life, and we can have a great community. So buy in hard. Thank you.
Larry, on behalf of the Pima Community College Governing Board and all of the citizens of Pima County, which we are elected to represent, we want to thank you for your extraordinary generosity for the largest gift that the college has ever received. It will be transformative in the lives of students, and it will change the trajectory of this county for the better. And it is through extraordinary generosity like yours that we are making this community a better place. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your extraordinary contribution. We have a small gift of orange roses and a blue vase, which are the Pima colors, which we'd like to give to you as a thank you, which we hope will be the first of many opportunities to acknowledge your remarkable contribution. And without further ado, I'd like to bring back Marcy.
Thank you, Damien. Larry, thank you, and the Board of Directors for the Connie Hillman Family Foundation for this really extraordinary opportunity for Pima Community College. I neglected to indicate earlier that I have a number of my team here, and while I am speaking, they are going to provide you all with a little blue card that gives a little bit more information about the challenge grant. This grant is for $5 million, but the challenge is for every $1 we raise, for every $2 we raise, $1 will be matched. So that $5 million grant will turn into $15 million at the end of 3 years. That is a daunting task, and I have a number of my board members here who hopefully are extraordinarily surprised and pleased by this, because we tried to keep this under wraps until Larry could make the announcement. But this is truly transformational, as Damien indicated. And we need everyone's help to be able to bring donors, to bring innovation, to bring ideas that help us in order to make Pima County, our region, our state, our country, a place that we can all be proud of in terms of supporting education and skilled training for people in all different areas that the college provides. So my team, Sabi is walking around. Sabi, wave your hand. Sabi is walking around. I think Zoma is walking around. Zoma's handing out cards. Savannah is handing out cards somewhere. And I think Katie, is Katie handing out cards somewhere? Where did Kate? Oh, Sabi took your cards. Okay, so the 4 people in the room, in addition to me, that you can have your questions addressed by, you just met them, and so we are happy to answer those questions. And then, so please, we would love to be able to have more dialogue about this with you. There's lots of food. There's plenty of beverages. And when you leave, we also want you all to know that we consider each and every one of you part of our alumni network. Even if you didn't come to school at Pima, we consider the people that care about our college to be alumni of Pima. And so we have a Pima College alumni pin for you. And we also have an all sports pass for the remaining sporting events for the 21-22 season. And if you didn't know, our soccer team, men's, just won the national championship. And women came in as runners-up. And it's the first time in NJCAA history that 2 teams, women and men's, went to the championship game from the same school ever. And so we have lots to be proud of for those young men and women. So I just want to close and say how very grateful I am. I think I speak for my staff and the team that works with us and the foundation members. I feel like I am the most blessed person on the planet to be able to be working with the extraordinary, talented administrators, faculty, staff, students that grace all of the campuses and centers for Pima College. And we are excited about this, and we look forward to meeting this challenge hopefully in less than 3 years. But we have 3 years to meet the challenge, and we are up for it and excited, and we thank you very much, Larry. Lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the folks from Pima TV and the Marketing and External Relations Department for helping coordinate all of these things. We'll be doing a big marketing blitz, media blitz around this to let people locally, regionally, nationally know about this. This is big news in the community college world. And also, I need to say thank you to my husband because he puts up with me, and my son, I drug him here to do all the greeting and welcoming. And so this is really a family affair for the Euler family, and we really appreciate all of you being here. Happy holidays, and we look forward to great things to come.